Shalom, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the bishops who teach and rule well. Salutations to the elect. This is your brother Rabbi Yami. I'm here to share a quick lesson. And title of this lesson, I'm going to call it The God of Israel Will Not Forsake Them. Alright, put Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 17. But before I'll go into the actual lesson, just wanted to say a few things. I wanted to apologize for not putting up any lessons in the past few days, as I was not feeling well, and I had severe back pain, which I'm now starting to come out of, starting to recover, from it. The muscle in your lower back pain, the lower back, I had pain there and so for a while, and couldn't really move around, walk, too much to do pretty much anything. But I'm now starting to, come out of it, and, wanted to hit the button and do a lesson. And so forgive me for not putting out anything these last couple of days. And the reason why I'm doing a facial video, before I got sick, I was watching the Young Elder video from New York. I believe I'm Wanga Bar. And, he was talking about how, we need to show our face more. And it's something that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to do more lessons where, show my face, especially outdoor, sit downs and stuff like that. But since I saw his video and stuff, it kind of prompted me to, accelerate it rather than waiting, start now as soon as I started feeling better, start now to show my face more. So in the week, like when I do the on screen, because he mentioned, doing the on screen, or this, when you're doing a lesson where it shows the whole screen, it's recommending to show your face and stuff too, so people could see who are putting up the lessons and stuff. So rather than waiting, I wanted to go ahead as soon as I started feeling better to do more lessons in between where I show my face, other than the screen, the whole, screen, so to speak. Alright, just wanted to mention that. And what else? Yeah, so I'm doing this lesson, and the inspiration for this lesson came, before, I got sick. I used to walk 3 miles, a day after, after work. So once my back started getting stronger and stuff, I'm gonna trade spirit and power I'm gonna start walking again. But I used to walk 3 miles a day, whether it be cold, hot or whatever. And the last day that I walked it before I wasn't feeling well, I had I always carry like a bottle of water and stuff with me in case I need to sip on something while I'm walking, in case I'm dehydrated. But the weather was so hot, the sun was so hot, that the bottle of water that was in my hand started getting hot and stuff too, which wasn't really pleasing and stuff to drink, when the weather is hot. So 3/4 of my 3 mile walk, this guy in this SUV pulled beside me, and I guess he had like a cooler and stuff in his vehicle, and he gave me a bottle of cold water and stuff to drink. And when he gave it to me, I said thanks, I appreciate it. And I said that we need to be careful when receiving things from people. So I made sure that it wasn't, open. The seal on the cap was there. Nothing was open, wasn't leaking or anything like that. Because we need to be careful too at the same time. We need to use wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So it was good. I did, the cold bottle of water, checked out. I opened it and I drank it. And it feel good. And when he pulled up to me and I received the water and I started drinking, I just thought about, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and how, he helped, our ancestors, the prophets, the saints, in their times of distress. Daniel in you know, in the lion's den, you know, Elisha, you know what I mean, so to speak, right? Peter, you know, he sent help, man, in the time of need. I wasn't in distress or anything. I was just exercising, but the water that I had, it was hot, and it wasn't really thirst quenching because, you know, the water was hot and the weather was hot, so, you know, it wasn't really pleasing to go down the throat from a thirsty person. But the cold water, it hit the you know, the spot. So I just thought about the Lord and how in the time of Jacob's trouble, the persecution that is to come, you know, the different distress that is to come, you know, I believe that he's gonna take care of his elect. He's gonna work a lot of miracles and stuff, you know, to help the elect. So I just wanted to share a few instances in the scriptures to encourage those who are going through their distresses, because I'm seeing you know, the few times that I got a chance to watch videos and stuff, a lot of people is going through it, especially, you know, financially, and it's messing, you know, with their mental. They can't think straight because they're wondering how they're gonna pay their bills and all of that. And things is happening fast. As you see, the days are going by, you know, very quickly, man. You know what I'm saying? So which means the bills is gonna come faster. The birth pains are gonna be more closer together rather than spread out, you know, over time, you know, in the past. You know, so we're all gonna go through things in numerity in these last days. This is why, you know, in the past I've prayed and asked Yahweh Shai to give him a spirit to see me through manifold problems, you know what I mean, multiple problems, because we are going to be tested in various ways, man, you know what I'm saying, and you don't want to give up, and you don't want to fall, you know what I'm saying. Lord willing, we be of the elect. So I just wanted to share that on you know, my back injury and so forth, and what the elder mentioned, because he also mentioned that, which is good, when you see somebody on camera, you should be able to discern if the person is right, if they're sincere and stuff, or if they're wicked or whatever, you know what I'm saying. So if we ain't doing anything, and we, you know, our heart is sincere, there's nothing wrong. We're coming on here and showing our faces. But for those who are doing you know, evil and don't care about the sheep, you know what I mean, they are there for people to see, to discern, you know, if they're right or not. So I just wanted to share two instances in the scriptures where the Lord delivered our ancestors in their troubles, in their distresses, right? And I'm gonna start with the book of First Kings. Reading from the KJV. Physical sword. Alright, First Kings chapter 19 and verse 7. 19. Yeah, so this is an example, you know, when Elijah, you know, was in the wilderness, you know, after he fled there, you know what I mean, he was tired and thing now. He was tired, and the Lord sent an angel to strengthen him and provided, you know, rations and stuff for him, you know, for the journey. Right? Because the journey was it was long, it was great, you know what I mean. So the Most High seeing that, you know what I mean, he sent help and stuff for him. And this is what Yahweh Shem Shai is going to do for us if we be of the elect and stuff in these last days. I think I'm going to highlight that too. Yeah, so just pray, man, and ask the Most High for upright spirit, repentant spirit. So when these testings and trials come upon us, we're gonna receive the help and stuff that we need. All right. So this is 1 Kings chapter 19 and verse 7. It says, and an angel of the Lord came again a second time and touched him and said, arise and eat, because the journey is too great before thee. And he arose and did eat and drank, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of the Most High, right? Yahweh, right? So the Most High sent, help for him, because he saw that he needed, food and water. You understand, for his journey. So we are gonna be like pilgrims and stuff in these last days, moving here and moving there, right? We may not be able to take a great deal of our foods, clothes, socks, and so on and so forth. We just, a lot of times, just be so much trouble that, or distress, that we just gonna have to, get up and go. You understand? But yeah, about Hashem Yahushua got us, because he knows what we need, right, before we even, ask and stuff for it. Alright, so this is why it's good to have that relationship with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Alright, so you could have, mercy upon you. So when that guy, he handed me the bottle of water, all these things is what I thought about, how Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, he aided his saints, his men, his prophets, his people, going into Egypt in the wilderness was another one. You understand how, he helped them, he protected them, he gave them light, right? While they went up, while they went about their journey, So we just gotta trust, in him, man. His help and his rations would not all, or the daily bread would not always be a job that we go on and we work 8, 9, 10, 12 hours shift and receiving money, wages. He's gonna provide our wisdoms, protections, various miracles, spiritual encouragement, brothers that's gonna heal you. It's gonna be different things Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is gonna do in these last days. And I'll close out with this other example in 1 Samuel chapter 23 and 16. This is the situation with King David, when he was hiding from King Saul in his jealousy. He fled into the woods, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushua sent his friend Jonathan, which was King Saul's son, right, to strengthen him in the faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to continue. So this is 1 Samuel chapter 23, and I read from verse verse 14. And David abode, this is again 1 Samuel chapter 23 and verse 14. And David abode in the wilderness, in the strongholds, and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul sought him every day, but the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, delivered him not into his hand. And David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life. He wanted to kill him. And David was in the wilderness of Ziph in the wood. And there's a point. And Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David in the wood and strengthened his hand in Yahweh, right, and said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel, and I shall be next unto thee, and that also Saul my father knoweth. You understand? So the Most High Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, he sent Jonathan, right, to give King David, strength, right? So the Most High, he has used miracles and people as his various forms of instrument, right, to help, his saints, the sincere, right, the prophets, right, his people, Israel. You understand? So when I was walking and I was tired and it was extremely hot, it was over 102 degrees, right, and I was walking, doing my 3-mile walk, and the guy came and he brought a bottle of cold water that quenched my thirst. I just thought about, in times of need, how, in times past, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, he helped, his saints, his prophets, and how he's gonna do these things, even so in these last days. And what I'll do, I'll read one more scripture here, which the title of the lesson is based on, which is Isaiah the 41st chapter. Isaiah the 41st chapter and the 17th verse. It says, When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue feeleth for thirst, then I, the Lord, will hear them, and I, the Lord of Israel, will not forsake them. And it's not only always, things like water or stuff like that, but, the Holy Spirit, miracles, helps, because all people are the poor and the needy, right? And on a spiritual sense, the water, are those living waters, the Holy Spirit, right, which all people thirst for, which is why you're seeing a lot of our people get judged and stuff in these last days, because they do not have that living waters. They thirst for it, and they do not know where to find it. You understand? But the Lord is going to give it unto the elect on this side, and as a nation, as a whole, in the new world, in the new kingdom to come. So that's where I get it from. The title from Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 17 says, When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, right, and their tongue feeleth for thirst, I, the Lord, will hear them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. So Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua is not going to forsake the elect on the side whom his covenant is with. And in the world to come, all Israel, right, is going to have the word, the spirit written, and the laws written on the inward part. So we're not going to sin, we're not going to be condemned, right, to various curses and various judgments, in the kingdom. So just wanted to share that, everything is a lesson and a teaching moment. So when the guy handed me the bottle of water, I was like, I have to do a lesson, on it, Lord willing. Alright, so still have a little bit of back pain. I just started recovering from it this morning. The muscle kind of loosening up a little bit, so I'm gonna keep massaging it and stuff, and in between lessons that I do with the screen time, I'm gonna do more facial lessons and stuff as well. So all praise here about B'Hashem Yahushua, B'Hashem Kakadash, for also giving the young elder up there in New York, the spirit to put that lesson out a few days, ago as well. It is important, good to see who it is putting these lessons and stuff forward here. So Lord willing, this encouragement was edifying unto you. It caused you to remember the Lord in your distress, in your time of trouble. And I know that in the heat of the trouble, it may look like there's no help, there's no hope, because you're going through so much. You don't know when your relief is going to come, but just keep the faith, as you have for a spirit of endurance, longevity, that He'll see you through the problem, and trust me, your relationship with Him is gonna grow while you trust Him, and you'll trust Him in more things as well. When you go through more higher distresses, the foundation of trust is going to be there, where you believe Him even in more greater things. All right, so continue in the Lord in your Abashim Yahweh, and don't lose faith in these last days. Lord, when this lesson was edifying until next time, shalom.